it is now creating a giant meteor shower, which is killing basically all the pigs in that area. So, if you already played Gladcraft, you know that there's a thing called Fire Magic on here. If you don't, then you don't. Basically, there's this huge feature that I've made called Fire Magic, and I've recently done a thing called Fire Magic Overhaul, which overhauled it majorly because it needed a lot of changes. So in this video, I'm going to explain the Fire Magic Overhaul. So there's a lot of confusing things in it. For people who already know, and for people who don't don't play Gladcraft and haven't used Fire Magic, this is also just a good video for just seeing what it all does. So actually, I will open with just completely explaining how this all starts. So basically, this is Fire Magic. I'll explain everything you're seeing, like in my hotbar and whatnot, later. But Fire Magic allows you to cast these magical spells that are based around fire. Oops, can't cast that one. And guys. Or Fireball, you can hit the pig with that. It hits the pig. So how do you get Fire Magic? Well, this is how you do it. So when you first spawn here. And yeah, actually that's a good reminder, /guide. If you just type /guide fire, it outlines this whole process that I'm about to show you. So cast /guide fire. But I'll show you as well. So basically you're going to go into the town, which is called Port Haven. The chunks are loading a little slowly, but basically what you're going to do is you're just going to walk around and you're going to find these buildings. So here's the bank, and here's this torch, and here's this building. So remember by this torch, and this is Margot's house. Now Margot is a Margot is this quest character. Now I have already done the quest for Fire Magic. It's you need to obtain Fire Magic using a quest. So as you can see, whenever I click on her, she doesn't give me an option to talk to her about Fire Quest. But basically, you're going to click on her and talk to her about like kind of some adventure thing. You'll be able to tell which one will tell you what will lead you to having a conversation about Fire Magic. Then what she's going to do is tell you to go to this guy called Arcarius in Ardendale. Get to Ardendale, you're going to go... Sorry, my Mac is terrible with lag. Go to Ardendale, you're going to follow this road. And then, so let's just pretend we went all the way there. So then you're going to find this house, which is in Ardendale, so they park their cat outside, I don't know why. And then you're going to talk to Arcarius. He's going to tell you... So I won't spell the quest, I will not tell you exactly. But he's going to tell you to go somewhere. You go that way. And then the person there will tell you to come back to him. So you go back to him, and then you find the last thing, which is the Crystal Caverns. And that's the end of the quest. The key thing to remember when talking to these characters is you have to completely finish the conversation, like this. Like, you know, I'm going to talk to him about this or something. And you need to make sure you completely click, you click next as much as you possibly can in that conversation, because if you don't, what will happen is it won't recognize you talk to that character, and you can't talk to the next character in the quest. But so yeah, so anyway, that is basically how you get Fire Magic. So now this next, now I'm going to go into Overhaul stuff. So, slash stuff that kind of, you know, explains it if you aren't already familiar with it. So basically, the first thing with Fire Magic is that there is XP and stuff. Whenever you, here, I'll set my level to 1 to simulate how it will be. Okay, so set 1. So, whenever you first get Fire Magic, you're going to get the spellbook and the casting stone. When you open the spellbook, you're just going to exit this spell. In a nutshell, I think that's a glitch, sort of. Just ignore that. So, I've selected that spell. I'll show you the spell selection process. Don't worry about that. And you can do them. And I leveled up because it gives you XP. Now, I leveled up really fast because I actually have a ton of XP. I just set my level low. So don't worry about that. But basically, you're going to cast that spell until you get XP, and then you're going to get other spells. As you can see, oh, I unlocked it. As you can see, here's all these spells, and tells you what level it's required. When you've reached that level, it doesn't show it here since I've already learned all these. But when you reach that level, it'll replace this glass pane with a book. And that book will say, talk to the Fire Mage to unlock it. So you teleport using this button, and you talk to him, and he is like, yeah, you can learn this, and then you learn it. So Yeah, and so you just learn the spells. The highest level required for a spell is 40, and then you have all the spells unlocked. So that's basically how leveling in XP works. As you can see, also it lists important information about those right there. So let's set my level back to 45. I'll tell them I'm filming. There we go. Set my level back to 45 for next purposes. Okay, so here's the next confusing thing. So you see all this? This looks a little weird and stuff. So let me just put all of these things. Sorry, that's a glitch. With it still remaining in there. I will fix that later. Just for now, just close out and reopen it. It's all fixed. So when you first open your spell block, it's going to look like this. I mean, well, when you first open it from the beginning, you're just going to have that. But if you have all the spells unlocked, it looks like this. Spell selection. So basically, there's these things called spell sets. And so you can rotate through spell sets using your casting stone. What you have to do is shift and then right-click with it. As you can see, I'm shifting between the spell sets. But of course, I don't have spells. Now, if I did have spells, then when I right-click, it will go to the next one. So let's show this. So I'll show you how this works as well. But I'll just throw some spells in there, and when I right-click, it shuffles through them. And then if I do this, then it would shovel through those and whatnot. So, but then here's how it works in here. So basically, you have all these, and to do this, you just click on the spell set you want to put things in, and put them in. And so you can go to the next one and put them in. And then if you want to take them out, you don't even have to select which one you want to take it out, although it generally makes it less glitchy. Then you just do that. Or that. There's no glitch. There we go. So like that. So basically, yeah, that's my best explanation. It is a little confusing. You have to figure it out for yourself. But you just click on it, put it in the spell set, and then you can shuffle through it. There's also an explanation on the lore of this. Okay, next thing. Absorbance. So once you've selected your spells, you're going to want to have these things called fire crystals, which you get from the crystal caverns, which you probably already know. So I'm going to put some in my inventory. And so whenever you first get your casting stone, you see that number there, and the yellow, and that would at first say 0 out of 960. This stone can absorb 960 fire crystals, and those fire crystals are required for actually whenever I try to cast a spell. I don't have the spell selected. If I try to select a spell, then it would be like, oh, you haven't absorbed any. So how do you absorb them? Okay, so, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Okay, you get them first, obviously, but then to absorb them, what you're going to do is you're going to look as far down as you can. You're going to hold shift, and then you're going to right-click once. Starting to absorb them, does this cool animation, like that, and then, there you go, absorbance completed. And it'll absorb as many as it possibly can. As you can see, it didn't have enough to fill it. 960, by the way, is about 15 stacks. I think it is exactly 15 stacks of fire crystals. So it holds quite a lot. And before, as you probably know, you would have to... Oh, I don't have any more left. But you'd have to have the fire crystals directly in item form in your inventory. It got a little cumbersome and, space inefficient. So now it works that way. So now, basically, once you have these fire crystals, then you can just, select your spells, put them here. I'll get my normal setup. Let's see, do that. We'll put Fire Shield 2, Fire Stomp 2, how about Healing Embers, and then let's put Spellblock in there, and Meteor 3, there we go. So yeah, so then you can then you actually have all your spells set out, and you can cast them. And as you can see, let's see, it's just 718, and then I'm going to hit these piggies, and now it is on 713, because it used 5 fire crystals for Flame Burst 2. So, next thing, which is probably also looking confusing, I'll set it to day to make this easier for myself. Next thing, which is probably the most confusing aspect, is this thing called energy. So I'll spawn some pigs here, and also I'll change my game mode into survival to make it a little more, so you can understand a little better. So what we have here, so we have these spells, and whenever, okay, let's see, I'm trying to figure out the best way to explain this. So when we first cast a spell, as you can see, there's a little energy bar that popped up next to my armor bar. I'll let you look for it again. So look next to my armor bar. See, energy bar. And it's the name of the item. Basically, energy is something you get or lose from casting spells. As you can see, it tells you the energy cost here. If the energy cost is 1, or I mean, sorry, not 1, it's positive. It's a positive number, it's not negative. It's supposed to, like, you know, see this one is negative. These are positive. These are positive well. All the others are negative. If it's positive, it adds energy. If it's negative, it takes away energy. Pretty simple. The idea is you have to cast, you have to cast, there we go. You have to cast these spells and these spells and whatnot to get up energy, and then you can cast these spells. So let's try this. So right now I have, let's switch to Fireball 2 actually. I can cast this spell. Cast it, whatnot. But if I try to cast, oops, I'm doing the wrong thing. Fireball, well, I can actually, because I had energy. No, I can't. See? Don't have enough energy. So, here's how it works with the positive energy ones. Oops, I keep on doing this. So, I'm going to cast it, right? It's going to give me energy, as you can see. The reason for that, here, I'll do it again real quick so you can see it better. Bam. See? No energy. The reason for that is because you actually have to hit something. So let's hit this pig. As you can see, now I have energy. Let this pig here. 2 energy. Hit this pig here. I didn't hit the pig. 3 energy. Then, what I can do is now I can cast Fireball. Now I cast it. 2 energy. And I'm going to cast it again. 1 energy. And as you can see, even if I don't hit a pig, it does in fact drain my energy. So you have to keep that in mind. You do have to aim all of those because otherwise it's going to drain your energy. Because you can't just, you know, infinitely cast them until you finally hit. And that's how basically it works. You'll need higher energy for better spells. For example, this is higher spell. It needs 8 energy because, you know, it's pretty cool. Same thing with that one. So yeah, that's basically how energy works. So let's go on to spell cooldowns. This is very simple. Cooldown is basically, you know, if you don't know what a cooldown is, I mean, it's pretty simple, but the cooldown is just a time you need to wait before you do something again. So as you can see, I cast a spell, and I can't cast it. But then, look at my, here, I'll wait for that chat to go away. See, look, it said, has recharged. So let's cast it again, can't cast it. But now look above my armor bar, Fire versus Flame Burst 3 has recharged. Then you can cast it again. Same thing with Fireball, whatnot. And like usual, you can see the cooldown times in here. This provides all the information besides XP. That's kind of, you just have to figure XP in yourself. I didn't really, XP is kind of, it depends on the situation you're in. But that's the simple way to say it. So yeah, that's basically cooldowns. You just have to wait. And now, the big change in the overhaul is it does notify you when the cooldown is over. As before, it didn't really do that. So yeah. And that is basically how the overhaul works and Fire Magic overall. I'll show you guys a few spells before I go on to the last part, which is PvP, because Fire Magic has now been in fact enabled for PvP, and also the spell block works. So, but first I will show you. So let's just, so here I'll give you some examples of stuff. So Flame Burst, it's an area of effect spell. As you can see, lights a bunch of pigs on fire. That's a positive energy one. Another one is Fireball, and this is a long range one, and you can hit pigs from pretty far away. It's not super powerful, but it's pretty fast. The idea is that, you know, it's just like your default spell, along with Fire Burst. And as you see, I'm getting a bunch of energy, so now let's go on to some better spells. So Flame Bolt. Flame Bolt is a very fast spell. It's basically like a flaming arrow of fire. And it shoots it. You can see it go off in the distance. Oh, that's a great charge. There we go. Goes off in the distance. And it hits things. It's a lot more powerful. Obviously, you know, it insta-kills pigs. And this is just Firebolt 1. Or at least I thought it did. Yeah, it does. Then, and some of this, as you can see, some of the spells ignite things on fire, and some do not. Just kind of this up. Next is Fire Shield. And it pushes things back. This is especially helpful like in giant mobs. mobs of mobs. It's funny. Giant mobs of mobs. Basically, it does do a lot of damage, but more so it's for defending yourself, as you'd expect from a shield spell. Next is Fire Stomp 2, and it throws you up in the air, and then it creates a giant blast whenever you land. And it throws you up at different heights or different speeds for different ones. This one throws you up very high, so you can also be used as like a kind of double jump kind of thing. What's the next one? Oh, as you can see, my energy... No. Here, watch this. Just wait 1 second. So, energy does deplete. If you don't cast spells for about 25 seconds, it does go away and you lose all your energy no matter how much you have. Yeah, see, there you go. Converts back to the name Casting Stone, you've lost all your energy. The way that works is that, you know, you shouldn't be able to just retain all this energy. Because the idea is that you're supposed to go into, you know, a fight not having much energy stored up, so therefore you kind of have to work up to higher spells. So you can't just go the super op spells right from the start. Let's spawn some more pigs. Actually, I could do this in a more simple way. A pig 10, 10, 10. There we go. So let's go to the next spell. Let's see. Oops, that is not my casting stone. Healing Embers, that's right. Let me go in survival mode for this, and I will go fly, and then I'll take some damage. Oh dear, I took some damage. But let me just go the Flame Burst, and I get myself 1 energy, and I'll go over here and get Healing Embers. I don't have the energy. Oh, it costs more than I thought. Now I have 2 energy. Now I'll go over here. Now I'll go over to Healing Embers. As you can see, I got healed. It's a little hard to see behind the chat, sorry about that. But I got healed. And so that's a good spell. It does have a higher cooldown, but it's a very useful spell for things. Then, let's go to the next spell set. Spell block, that will be in a second. Oops. I'll do that in a second. So let's go to next. Oh dear. We need a lot of energies for this. So, meteor spells create these meteors that just fall from the sky. And the first 2 just kind of do in a small area, but the last one, it's a really big area. So let me show you. It's got to build up some more energy. For some reason, it doesn't instant kill pigs. Okay, and let's just unleash Armageddon on the piggies. Alright. And goodbye, piggies. As you can see, it took all my energy, but it is now... Oh, it's lagging a lot, too. It is now creating a giant meteor shower, which is killing basically all the pigs in that area. Yeah, that is a... Also, these meteors do give you slowness, so it's really good. It still works in PvP a lot as well. Yeah, that is Fire Beam 3. Now, the last one... I mean, not Fire Beam 3, sorry. That is Meteor. But I'm about to show you Fire Beam 3. Let me just build some more energy. So, Fire Beam is... the highest spell in each tier of spells, because, you know, there's different tiers. There's, you know, 1, 2, 3 in each spell. It's the highest one in each tier, and Fire Beam 3 is the highest level of spell that you can get. And it's meant to be the kind of just the most, just like the crazy, like, overpowered spell. It doesn't look as cool as Meteor 3, I will admit, but it's a lot more effective. So let me just show you that real quick. All these pigs are probably going to die. And we'll go over to Fire Beam 3 and cast it. As you see, shoots out a beam of fire, like that, and it just incinerates basically anything it runs into. Some of those pigs survived, but that's because they had a giant meat shield in front of them. So, yeah, that is Fire Beam 3. So with that all done, let me get my friend here. I'll teleport to him. Oh dear, it is lagging. But once it stops lagging, then we will do that. Actually, we'll get Bio Soldier, since he's probably the highest with fire magic on here. Here, so we're going to do PvP real quick, and it's really laggy. thing for this vid. Unknown. Let's get him over here. So, the last spell we're going to go over. So basically, Overhaul enabled Fire Magic for PvP. It completely works. It calculates armor too. So if you have diamond armor, obviously I would be a lot more damage right here. But if I had diamond armor on, it would be a lot less damaging. Sorry for the lag again. It's just this chunk loading. So let's change in the survival mode, and now let's go over to this spell. Hit you with a spell, then hit me back after I cast spell block. Okay. So we're going to switch over to Flame Burst 3. No. Actually, we're going to hit him with Fireball 2. And if you don't know about stuff on the server, you have to initiate PvP through duels. You can't just PvP anybody. So basically what we're going to do here... Actually, let me do this real quick. We'll unselect that and select that into there. Sorry for the glitches again. Okay, so we're going to scoot over to... Hope he doesn't hit me. Okay. Does that work? Yes. Okay. So, first what we're going to do is we're going to hit him with Fireball 2. We have 1 energy. We can cast Spellbox. And as you can see, it didn't hurt me. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. I'll do it from... So, watch this. Fireball 2. We hit him. Oh, no. He did it wrong. But as you can see... I took damage because I didn't cast Spell Block in time. Basically what Spell Block does is it blocks a spell, so it's not being helpful with the whole jumping thing. So let's hit him again. Spell Block. As you can see, it's doing a little animation, and whenever he hits me, then it clears it. And it just completely does not damage me. If you were to hit me without it, then it does do damage to me. Yeah, that lag is very annoying. As you can see, there's a little animation there. Yep, and it blocks it. And it does a little sound whenever it's off. I'll let him know. So yeah, that is basically how that works. The idea is that you want to, cast your spell block. Because, here, let's look at the description of it. It lasts for 4 seconds, but it does have a cooldown of 10 seconds. And as soon as you're hit, it does clear the spell block effect, meaning that you can only block 1 spell at a time. So the idea is to set up spell block right before somebody's going to cast a spell at you. That way you don't take damage. Also, you should just have a good set of armor. But yeah, so that's basically how PvP works. You just kind of cast spells at each other, build up energy to cast higher spells, and make sure to have spell block on an easy, like an easy spell set. Like probably have it right at the beginning. I keep it up. There we go. Probably have it like right at the beginning of a spell set, like right there, or right here. But probably you don't want to do that. So you can instantly just shift, right click, and bam, cast it, and then there you go. But yeah, so that is basically Fire Magic and the Fire Magic Overhaul. I'm sorry for the lag. I normally play on my PC, but this is my Mac laptop, and it doesn't really like to cooperate half the time. But yeah, so that is Fire Magic, and I hope this was useful and understandable, whether you play on the server or not. And if you want to join, the server IP is gladcraft.net. We have a cool community. I don't know if you've been watching the chat. It's interesting tonight, but yeah, so thanks everyone for watching, and I will see you next time.